we've picked the best we have. Just we think it's an offer. Some guys get an opportunity it maybe wouldn't have. So that's another plus. This year there's no relegation as well. So I guess I guess that's a good thing. But there's some players there guys are there in merit as well. They worked hard to get there, and I noticed a few guys looked in really good shape that weren't in before as well, and it's helped their game, and they've pulled into the national team. And I think that's really positive. Shows people want to be there.
It's your second time now at that top level. Is that excitement still there that you had and everybody had, do you think, to compete against the best in the world?
I'm sure right now it's hard for me. I'm stuck over here in Germany, so I'm just trying to finish what I'm doing here. And then when you get there, I'm sure when every guy gets there and they get to the camp, they start getting excited. But it's going to be a different experience for everybody this time. We're in a bubble over here, and it'll be a challenge for them. They're locked in a hotel, and they're going to have to just go to the rink, and that's all they can do. And it's going to be a long tournament, but it's going to be a great experience for them as well. Something totally different. You know what I mean? A totally different experience. I think I'm watching a lot of the Elite Series. They're going to have to get the reactions a bit quicker, move their feet a bit quicker. The level they're going to play at, it's obviously way higher than that. But it's good that got going to give the guys some foundation and their fitness and their game sense to get going again.
You mentioned you're watching the Elite Series. How much is that a benefit? The fact that the Elite League was able to get that going, just to give some of your players, or a lot of your players, selected in the roster, that top level playing experience.
I just think guys have to be competing, like even if you take in a season, you take 2 weeks off in between, you're rusty when you come back and you're not where you were. So to take off 10 months was just insane. So I guess the Elite Series is just good for the guys at the time. That's what I spoke to Tony Smith a little bit, and he asked me what I thought, and I told him exactly just what I said there. Guys have to be competing at the highest level they can. And I know the NIHL done a good job of putting something on, but this hockey's definitely better than that. There's 8 imports in it, and it's another level up. So I guess both levels have helped in some way. Do you know what I mean? I think NIHL helped by keeping it going a little bit before that. A lot of guys get that exposure to the ice, and then they go to the Elite League Series in Nottingham, which the Elite League put together, and they've kept it going, which is great. And the guys are getting to play in that as well, and they're getting lots of minutes. And there's guys killing penalties that wouldn't normally be, things like that. And there's guys maybe playing a bit of PP time as well. And there's a lot of younger D-men getting a chance as well just now.
How much do you think the original tournament in Slovakia that you went to and the players returning, how much will that be of benefit? Can they learn on that experience and maybe teach the younger players about what playing against the best teams in the world are all about?
I don't know. I just think it's I think you got to take it for what it is. Do you know what I mean? There's no expectation, and I think sometimes that's a good thing if you handle it well. And I think guys that haven't been there are going to soon see what it's like to play against a top end guy that can turn fast, is stronger in the park, stronger in his stick, decision making's quicker, and they'll soon have to quickly adjust and catch on. And I think they learn that by playing in it. I think you can tell people as much as they want. You know what I mean? So can the guys in the locker room. But I think when they start trying to compete in it, they'll soon see how good it really is. I think that took us all by surprise, exactly how good the teams were. Do you know what I mean? It was some of the games you're just basically watching some of the teams do what they wanted at times. And it's just try to stay, I think the biggest thing is stay mentally strong and keep going. Do you know what I mean? It's a great challenge. It's an honour to play in Pool A. A lot of people never get that opportunity, and we're getting it again. And we're going to get it again as well, Great Britain. So I think that's unbelievable when you look back in the history. Great Britain have been there more than just once. They were there for 3 years at least in a row. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of funny when you look back on it.
Just finally, because 28 players are going to be named this year for the tournament rather than 25, and as we've touched on, experienced players, some of your experienced players are missing. Maybe, and I mean this question without any disrespect, maybe some younger players are in there that probably wouldn't have been in previous years, but how much of a bonus is that for you as a coach to get a look at these players? And as we say, it will be a pressured situation, but there's no relegation, so there won't be that intense scrutiny. So in many ways, do you see that as a bonus?
Yeah, well, there's always people complain you've picked the wrong players. People know better. Do you know what I mean? And we as coaches try to be fair when we pick the team. We try to pick the team that we think is the right team at the time. And again, we didn't focus on what we didn't have. We focused on what's there and what we can take. And we also focused on, is it time to take a couple of guys that we thought maybe we could take, but maybe we think it wasn't time. I'll use Joe Hazeldine as an example. That Joe done really well in this tournament, but I know Joe pretty well, so does Corey. And right now is not just the moment. Do you know what I mean? Defensively, but to be thinking of somebody like Joe, at that young age, a D-man, it wouldn't even have been on the long list before. I think that's the big positive that's come out of this. Do you know what I mean? We're looking even deeper into the pile. When you pick 28, people say maybe 2 years ago, last year, he should be in the team. He should be in the team. Well, we were taking 23 before. Now you kind of don't have that hassle. Does that make sense? And I think it is giving people an opportunity, like you said. But I think the best way to put it is they've got to take the opportunity. Do you know? And that's up to them. But there's never an easy team to pick, Chris. Do you know what I mean? I'd have loved to have took another couple of younger players. We could have took 30. But then when you get to 30, Andy Buxton says you'd want to take 32. Do you know what I mean? And it's true. We used to try and stretch the training squad as much as we could. Pre-tournament squads, try and get more and more people in, and never easy. But there's some young guys there, and there's also a couple of young guys. I named one name there. There's a couple other guys that doing really well in the tournament. Maybe if something goes wrong, they guys might come in. Just take some more younger guys and give them the experience. But I think it's definitely with some of the names that that aren't going, due to basically being away all year and not being with their families, and I understand that fully. I respect that. They should put their family first this time. It's giving guys a real opportunity, and what an opportunity to get. Do you know what I mean? You're going to go to Pool A. I don't think you can ask for much more than that. But I think it's also a testament to the young guys we're talking about, that they've done really well in that tournament to push themselves into that picture.
Thanks for joining us, Pete. That's Pete Russell, head coach of GB on Ice Hockey UK TV in association with SMP Europe.